What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I am your host, Slackers, bringing you guys our next matchup in the Everyone is Here tournament. So, if you haven't seen it, real quick, 100 characters in the tournament. This is the whole breakdown and rundown of how this works. 100 characters into a tournament. Each day on the channel, I upload one of the matches from the tournament, except Sundays. But I'll talk about the two characters that are in the matchup for the day. Try to maybe go over some facts, maybe a mini moveset pool of how the character could potentially play in Smash Bros. And then we vote for one of the two characters down in the comment section. So I guess voting is just a part of the rules, and you guys know the deal by now. I'm just going to show you guys all the rules on screen right about now. And there you can see the breakdown and the rundown of the rules. I'll run them down real quick because they're very simple. First rule, yes, that is a rule. It's only rule because I want you guys to keep in mind this is really for enjoyment purposes. You can vote for whoever you want, regardless of their situation. Yeah, this is how I always put it. Vote for who you personally want between the two characters, not who's necessarily more likely. Alright? Vote for who you personally want. So, yeah, that's how rule number 1 pretty much works. Rule 2 and the rest of them, you do only get one vote per person. How do you vote? Down in the comments, you simply type the character that you are voting for in the day's matchup by simply typing the name of that character. You are allowed to vote for both characters, however, if you absolutely like both the characters, or if you're having a difficult time deciding who to vote for, you can vote both. It's all good. Just simply type the word both. But yeah, the rest of the rules, double elimination tournament, meaning a character has to lose 2 times before being officially eliminated. Once we get to the results to determine the winner and the loser of the matchup, if there happens to be a tie in the voting, we're just going to flip a coin on camera. It's the fairest way to break a tie. That's how that works. And then the last rule, each matchup voting-wise only lasts for 1 week. So you basically have 7 days to get your votes in once the matchup goes live. If your vote comes in after that, it simply does not count. That's all the rules, so let's jump into the rest of the video, shall we? Alright, so we're going over another loser bracket matchup. Again, another character's getting eliminated, so don't worry. We're getting close to getting back into the winner's bracket. We still got this week, and then I believe a little bit of next week. But I think next week we finally get back into the winner's bracket, so that should be good. But anyway, matter at hand. The results were for Cosmos, however you want to pronounce the name, from the Xenosaga series. And her opponent was Chun-Li from Street Fighter. And one of them got eliminated. And probably a safe bet as to who got eliminated. Or who won, if you want to put it that way. Cosmos, I hear it like 2 or 3 different ways. Cosmos, whatever. She ended up winning this one 39 votes to just 21 votes, right? That's 39, yeah, 39 votes to 21. So congrats, Cosmos, moving on to the next round. Chun-Li, unfortunately, this is the end of the Street Fighter. Anyway, that's the end of her journey here. So yeah, congrats, Cosmos moves on, and that means we also have to move on for our next matchup. So we're, again, like I said, we're in the loser bracket, but it's alright. We got a pretty interesting sort of matchup today. Arle from the Puyo Puyo series, and she's back, obviously, that's why she's in the matchup. But her opponent, Hunter from Monster Hunter, and it could be any Hunter, to be fair, and I could make a point about that, but yeah, Arle against Monster Hunter. Let's jump into it. So, first things first, I think a lot of you are going to be familiar with this picture. Daisy theory. Now, a lot of people were speculating, and I completely understand where this is coming from. Like, if you look at it, it makes a lot of sense. Daisy theory was, alright, all the DLC characters are on screen. Joker, Banjo, Hero, Terry, Piranha Plant was even in there. Get random Mario, but I guess Mario can kind of make sense. You know, hey, he's like he's the #1 Nintendo character. And then you just have like Daisy randomly in there, and it's kind of like, why was she in there? Was Sakurai hinting at this? And even though we ultimately found out he really wasn't hinting at anything with this picture, I did say numerous times in videos, I think I might even put it out on Twitter, where I was like, you know what, Sakurai could just be a guy that likes to show off his personality. Maybe he just takes funny, awesome pictures. I don't know what. Maybe that's what he did here. Ultimately, it seems like that was the case. So the Daisy theory was ultimately a fan theory in the end, and, well, there's a lot of fan theories, and a lot of them don't go anywhere. But, getting to the point for Daisy theory, it got a lot more eyes on the character Arle. And, look, I grew up around the time Puyo Puyo was around, and, I don't know, if somebody would have said, do you know what Puyo Puyo is? I could have said, maybe I've heard of it. But could I tell you who Arle was? No, not in the least bit. I couldn't tell you one thing about the character. I wouldn't have known if Arle was a male, female, whatever. I wouldn't have known any of that. But, so me personally, though, I want to not point it out, but I just want to say it. For me personally, Arle does absolutely nothing for me. I don't know the series. I don't like the character. It's not that I don't like the character. I'm sorry. I'm very indifferent towards the character. Does nothing for me. The little bit of research I've found out, I do like the potential for a moveset, but again, there's just so many more characters that I feel either deserve it or I just personally I'd rather see. So Arle for me, yeah, no, Arle would be kind of a pass, but if she happened, I'm more than willing to give her a chance, and I think that's how we should always look at a character. But anyway, Arle. So the Daisy Theory brought a lot of people to the Arle. A lot of focus was put on this character because again, everyone was thinking, all right, it's a hint at a female character. And Arle, Puyo Puyo is extremely popular over in Japan. So as we know, or at least most of us know, Smash Bros puts in a lot of, not all, but a lot of Japan kind of happy, sort of, pandering, catering to kind of the Japanese audience, if that makes sense. I think you guys know where I'm going for that. Again, not the whole roster. We do have some Western characters. We got Ridley and K. Rool. We got Banjo, the Western audience. We're kind of responsible for that, so that's awesome. But anyway, Arle, very big in Japan, so you could say that's a point in her favor. And isn't Arle, the Puyo Puyo series, isn't that a Sega series? And Nintendo and Sega work very well together, so potentially seeing another Sega Rep in Smash Bros., I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility whatsoever. With obviously the latest news of we're getting 6 more additional fighters, you can't go wrong with that. So whether one of them ends up being a Sega Rep, one of them being a female, whatever it might be, Arle, as much as I don't care for the character, to be honest, it's again like she's not really somebody that makes me go, yeah, Arle, I want to see that. Nah, I can't argue against her too much because, like I said, the moveset potential, when I kind of dig into the character a little bit, I kind of like how she could potentially play. And with what Sakurai was kind of emphasizing last week during the presentation on how characters have these kind of specific mechanics to their character, I was kind of thinking how Arle could potentially, and this is just me knowing nothing, or pretty much, I don't know that much about Arle, that's what I'm trying to say. But here's how I could envision her and her mechanic. So she can cast like a bunch of different spells. She's got fire, I think, ice, there's a bunch of other things in here, I can't remember. Fire, diamond, something, I don't know. But she's got a bunch of different elements. And I think that would be a tremendous sort of, I don't know, just a really cool kind of moveset. And what I mean by the elements is, you have one character that can do multiple different, just added effects onto their move. So, yes, we have characters that can freeze opponents, turn them into an icicle. Okay, they got the... And then, like, Ice Climbers, for example, they focus on ice attacks, and they can freeze your opponent. Okay. Arle could potentially do that with her Ice Storm. Cool. Give her something with a Fire Blast. Maybe you take the Fire Blast, and if you get hit with the move long enough, the opponent gets hit by the move long enough, maybe they have, like, a little bit of, like, a burn effect. So it's kind of like, think of the item Lipstick for a second. If you play with items, you know what I'm talking about. You get hit by it, and you'll take continuous damage for a couple seconds. So something similar to that effect for fire, I thought would be pretty interesting, and you could do things for other elements that she's able to cast. Pretty sure she can do lightning too. Isn't that a thing? Or am I making that up? I don't know. But if you could do something with lightning, you got a lot of stun type of effects that can come after that. Or, maybe lightning kind of taken from Pokemon here a little bit. Paralysis, maybe it just slows down the opponent that gets hit by the move for a little bit. But something revolving around, like, added effects upon her attacks could be an interesting way to kind of give her own unique mechanic for Smash Bros. So that, I can't argue that. I don't know if that would fit her character by any means, but again, not knowing too much about her and just kind of thinking, alright, that could be a potential moveset. I could be on board with that. I'll be honest. I could be on board with that. But, yeah, we'll see what happens ultimately, right? We got 6 characters. Hopefully, at least one of them we get our most wanted. You know, that'd be awesome. But let's move on from Arle for a second. Let's talk about our opponent, the Hunter from Monster Hunter. Now, the Hunter from Monster Hunter, and the one that I always bring up, the one that I could envision the best, would be the Hunter from the Marvel vs. Capcom series. Why that one specifically? You can see it on screen here. See her on screen, I should say. She's got that big old blade on her back. Why would that one make more sense? Well, that is the only Hunter that has fully fledged out voice acting for any of the Hunters. And in the Monster Hunter games, keep in mind, the character you play as is just an avatar. This is like kind of the face of, if you want to put it like that, it's the face of the Hunters. It's the most recognizable Hunter. Again, though, for a character selection screen, you could do 4, you could do 8 different Hunter outfits or whatever you want, because they got plenty you could choose from, no doubt about it. But if they had to go with a main one, kind of like how Luminary, I guess you would say, is the main hero for Dragon Quest, I think this would be the main hero or the main Hunter for the Monster Hunter series. Now, something that I always liked about the moveset, but now Byleth kind of took that in a way. Multiple different weapons for different attacks on how to use the attacks. That's how I kind of envision Monster Hunter a little bit. Again, you got the big-ass blade on her back. She does have ice bows. She's got, like, dual-wielding daggers. So, I mean, that's kind of how I always pictured the Hunter from Monster Hunter to work. You have all these different types of weapons, and you can incorporate them into a moveset, which will make the character very fun. Which is why I'm actually looking forward to Byleth a little bit. Because I know it's Fire Emblem and everything, but for me, I just kind of go, alright, take Fire Emblem out of the character for a second, and let me look at the character and see what he does. Got a lot of different weapons. The moveset seems pretty interesting. So, I'm more than willing to give Byleth a chance once he comes out next Tuesday. So, yeah, but Rathalos. But Hunter, that's how I kind of envisioned it. I don't know if they would take that path and that route for a character again. You know, give them multiple weapons for multiple different moves, and however you angle your attacks, or you know, up special uses this move, or neutral uses this, or smash, whatever it might be. That's kind of how I always envisioned it. But you could just, I guess, make Monster Hunter kind of just use the big old blade on her back. Maybe just kind of like a 2-weapon kind of character. Maybe you could do that. You could do the big old blade, and you could also do something. Maybe the ice bows, or maybe. Now, yeah, I think maybe the ice bow would make a bit more sense for maybe, neutral specials. You could spin the bow. You could use that for like a little forward tilt or something like that. But I don't know. Something with multiple weapons, I do feel like that makes a lot of sense for a Monster Hunter character. They just have so much potential in terms of items and weapons they can use that I think that should be the better way to go. So, yeah, Monster Hunter, and again, Monster Hunter's, like, who is it? Capcom, that's what I was trying to think. Capcom and Nintendo work very well together. Monster Hunter sells very well on Nintendo systems. So, by no means would this be a surprise to anybody if a Hunter were to get a playable character status in Smash Ultimate for DLC. I think that's definitely on the table. Honestly, I really do. So, and plus, Monster Hunter got, Rathalos as the boss and an assist trophy, which is really cool. Kind of interesting at first. Like, wait, so we have Rathalos but no playable character? Interesting that they kind of took a boss or a character or an enemy, whatever, from a universe, put it into the game, and then we didn't get any playable reps from that. But I guess there's multiple of those series that we have something like that. But Hunter, though, I really do like. And again, maybe it's not my number one most wanted Capcom rep, but in this case, voting-wise, Hunter's got Arle beat for me easily. Again, like I said, Arle, for me, does nothing. The moveset, how I kind of envision it, I would be very interested in something like that. I think that could be very unique to a character and could draw a lot of people to that playstyle. And if that's what would happen, I'm more than willing to give that a chance. But again, between these two characters, who would I rather see? Because that's how you should vote. I'm going Monster Hunter for this one. So, yeah, we'll see how this one plays out ultimately. We'll get the results next week. But, yeah, that is it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed. So, yeah, you either get Monster Hunter, Arle, or both. Those are your options. But a little sneak peek for tomorrow. Tomorrow's matchup. We have... Okay. Tomorrow's matchup, we have 2B from the Nier Automata series. Oh, boy. And her opponent, Rimu from the Toho project. See how she bounces back, because a couple matches ago when she was in the winners bracket, she did lose, but she had like over 120 some votes or something like that. So she had a crazy amount of votes. Supporters showed up to, well, show their support, and then in her next matchup she only ended up with 48. So she's kind of like up and down. We'll see how that one plays out. That's tomorrow though, so we'll see what happens. That's the matchup tomorrow, and then the results for tomorrow. Another loser bracket. Again, somebody's getting eliminated. The results are going to be for Captain Syrup or Monokuma. That is it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed as always, and hopefully we'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace out, everybody.